Yeah. The bye week came at a perfect time. We had a lot of bumps and bruises. That was a really crucial game and really strenuous game that we had to play a couple of weeks ago versus Middle Tennessee. We had I think, over 80 plays, on defense side of the ball. So, this bye week came at a great time to just trying to get guys rested, try to get guys recovered, heal some of those bumps and bruises. For the most part, I think our guys are in a really good place from a mental standpoint. They've had some time to go to class, a little extra time. They've been able to dive into some of the schemes that we have put in front of them for this La Tech game. They've been doing a good job of diving into that for the last couple of weeks. We place a really, really strong opponent in La Tech this upcoming week. La Tech defensively is kind of where everything starts for those guys. They have one of the top defenses in the nation right now, definitely in Conference USA. The way they're creating turnovers on the defense side of the ball is like something I've never seen before. Those guys are well coached. They're at the right place at the right time, and they're taking advantage of every opportunity when the offense starts to turn the ball over. And it's kind of paying off for them. It has kind of been their lead, and they've done some good things offensively. Really impressed with the new scheme that they've kind of put in place. They do a really good job of taking advantage of your defense on the other side of the ball. Those guys do a great job of throwing RPOs. The quarterback is accurate. They are A lot of different people are touching the ball, and a lot of different people are making plays. So it makes it extremely hard to just target one person to try to stop. They're spreading the wealth around. They have two really nice running backs that run the ball tough and hard. They have a couple of receivers and a tight end that are doing a really good job of taking it to the house when they get those opportunities. So it makes you have to defend just the entire field, and you just can't hone in on one person. So with that said, I'll open up for any questions right now.
Go ahead, Kai.
Yeah, coach. So Amari had to exit the game against MTSU. Looked like he was banged up, and it didn't appear that Dexter was available for that game either. If you could just talk about the status of those position and how those guys are doing.
Well, like I said, the bye week has allowed both of those guys to try to heal some bumps and bruises. They've both been in practice this week. They've both been taking reps. We'll kind of see, as we get kind of closer to game day, who's exactly the healthiest out of all our quarterbacks, to be honest with you. Like you said, Dexter wasn't available because something that happened in practice. And, Amari didn't finish the game last week. So we still continue to evaluate those guys, but they have been in practice. They have been out there taking reps with first and second team units.
And then also dealing with injuries, Denelius Johnson and Daniel Kinney, two guys who have been out an extended period. How are they doing? And then Caleb Offord, it looked like he might have been banged up on that last defensive series against MTSU. How are those guys doing?
Yeah, Daniel, he kind of started a kick progression this week to kind of see where he's going to end up. Right now, is as usual, we really don't know until we get toward really a little bit closer to game day. He's not trending probably in the way we would like it, but we'll continue to monitor it and see what happens. Denilius, like he's been battling his hip situation all year. I don't foresee him probably being available to be honest with you this week either. And then Caleb Alford, like Caleb's been in practice. We kind of held him out of some contact situations, but earlier last week, but like now this week, he's been full go. So feel good about him being 100%.
With the bye week coming 5 weeks into the year, what were some of the things you guys, went back to and emphasized during the time off?
Really just to get our bodies back, let the guys sleep in a little bit more, gain a couple of hours of rest throughout the week. We was able to have some practices on Saturdays and Sundays, which was really good. Don't have to worry about class schedules, anything like that. Really get a chance to spend more time in the film room watching just our opponent, to be honest with you. The other thing is, just doing some self-scout as well. Get back to some self-scouts to see what's good, what's bad, what we kind of need to do more of or less of, to be honest with you, on both sides of the ball. Special teams was really good because we got a chance to hone in some of those fundamentals, talk about a lot more teachable moments, things that happen around the country during the bye week, the things that we can try to make sure that we don't let happen to us when we go out there.
Having won three straight and sitting at 1-0 in conference play, getting one of the better teams, so it appears, in the conference at home this week. Just how big of an opportunity is it for you guys on Thursday?
Man, I talk about that all week, just the moment and the opportunity that exists for us to play a team of this caliber that's really playing some of the hottest football in the country right now in La Tech. You got two teams that's really on winning streaks, that's been playing really well this year. Like, great opportunity. This is what guys come to college for. They have all the eyeballs on them on a Thursday night, so everybody can be glued to the television and kind of see, who is going to continue to progress in the right way and be a contender in this league, and who is, going to take a back kind of a step back on Thursday night a little bit. But great opportunity for our guys, great opportunity for the university as well to get this exposure in our program, so we can kind of show people around the country that what we can do at Kennesaw State.
Stan?
Coach, I'm writing something about Baron Hobson, and just wanted to know what you thought, how he's grown and helped you since he got healthy.
Yeah, really been impressed with B Hop since we got here. We knew that the leadership ability was real when we got here in the spring. He had a presence, he had a voice, he was really locked in, even though he could not participate in the spring with us. As we kind of went through his exit meetings at the back half of the spring, we talked about him, changing his body more than anything else. We wanted him to lean up, we wanted him to drop some pounds, some body fat, things like that. And he heard us, and he took the summer and he did it. He dropped his body fat significantly. He dropped some pounds, allowed him to move around a lot better. The football IQ and the football knowledge was already really elite. He's a very instinctive football player. We didn't really know how instinctive he was until we started to get into the fall camp, and then obviously carried over into Wake Forest game. And since then, he's just been progressing in the right way. So the way he dissects things and the way he flies around, just been really impressed with those things from him.
Coach, the most points La Tech's given up all year is 23, and that was to a pretty good LSU team. What is it about their defense? Is it athleticism? Is it scheme? Is it ability to force turnovers? What makes them so good?
It's all the above. Like, their ability to create turnovers and turn those turnovers into touchdowns is really what's the most impressive thing. I think schematically wise, like, they present some issues from a standpoint of keeping you off balance, that three down structure, whether they're going to bring pressure or they're going to drop eight. Some of those things always keep you off balance, no matter what the D and D is. It presents, they do a great job of hiding some of those tendencies, to be honest with you. And then, like everything else, it all starts with the players. The men that they have on the grass, the guys that they got at the second and really the third level right now are playing really, really good football. Their D line prevents some issues, hard to move at times. And, just overall, they just have done a really good job as a coaching staff, from a recruiting and also, too, from a development standpoint over there on that side of the ball.
Stan?
Coach, today Joshua Hewitt was named to the Ray Guy watch list. What does it mean to have a dependable punter back there? It seems like that position is underrated by a lot of people except the coaches.
It's definitely not underrated to the coaches. When you talk about a guy that can flip the field, I never hesitate uh, taking the analytics, and when it says go, and then saying, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to use Josh and punt the ball and try to pin him inside the 10. Yeah, he does a really elite job at always flipping the field, and he's consistent and he's reliable. When I need something to happen, or when I'm trying to get the ball in a certain area, Josh consistently is putting that ball where it needs to be, and that is allowing our defense to play well. Also, when you can, have a situation where those guys are inside the 10 or inside the 5, defense can be a little bit more aggressive. It's almost like playing with house money sometimes. And those guys can be super aggressive, and they can get after the quarterback, and you can put a little bit more pressure in the run game as well. So, he has been extremely a great gift that we inherited when we walked in the building.
Thanks.
Any other questions for Coach?
Yeah, Andrew, one real quick. Coach, you touched on it a little bit, but any words for Owl Nation with the opportunity at stake here, being able to showcase this team on national TV and in front of a home crowd for the first time this year?
No doubt, is what college athletics is all about at every university in the country. It brings more eyeballs to the university. People got to get to see your brand and what you're all about. Lots of commercials. Obviously, they get to learn more about your university during those TV timeouts across the country. And then, obviously, the product that we put on the field, we're entice not only great student athletes, but they also generate a lot of students to potentially take a look at Kennesaw State. So I just think it's what college athletics is all about when they have sports programs, is to try to get more students to understand how big and how good your brand as a university can be.
Anything else for Coach?
One more thing from me, Coach. As you head into this month and the schedule's about to get real strange, and you play a game on a Thursday one week and then a Tuesday the next week, what kind of challenges are you guys anticipating that to present, and what's maybe the plan in place to keep everything structured?
And I really like our plan of how we built the October calendar. To be honest with you, we have multiple days that we can dive into, the situational game plan or the normal down and distance game plan. So our guys feel like the days are really the same and consistent. We're still gonna, do our same workouts from a strength and conditioning standpoint. The structure of the meals are all pretty much the same. So the biggest thing is, a Wednesday is really Friday or whatever that looks like. But for the most part, I think we've done a really good job of taking care of our guys' bodies. We continue to tell those guys that these days off, even after the La Tech game, we have another about 11-day stretch before we play another football game. So that routine, obviously, they've already been through it now. They'll go through that same routine even after the La Tech game, going into that following game. So, I think the biggest thing is to make sure that our guys are consistently doing the same things week in and week out. At least it feels like that. If you don't pay any attention to the calendar as far as what actual day it is, it's going to feel like a normal week each and every week.
Anything else? All right. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate everybody
Thanks,
joining the
Coach.
call today.
No problem. Thank you guys.
See you.
Hey, Coach.